welcome to the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Let's talk the Golden Bachelorette. I am Peju Bamgboshe Roethlisberger,
Hi, everyone, and I'm Naomi Bambushi.
and thank you guys for tuning in. You can catch us every Thursday here on our YouTube channel, All Things Peju, home of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour, where we give you our insights and our thoughts on the Golden Bachelorette. We probably need to start everything off, Ma, with the toast for Miss
Okay.
Joan, the Golden Bachelorette. Are you ready, Ma?
Okay, let's lift our glasses to Joan Vasos, is it? Joan Vasos?
Yeah,
All
Vasos,
right.
Vasos.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, let's raise our glasses to all the Golden Bachelorettes around the globe. Here's to continue long life, prosperity, health, wealth, and happiness. Salud.
Salud. Now, guys, just a little background information again. If you checked out our first video on the Golden Bachelorette, you know that Joan is returning from the Golden Bachelor. She is 61 years old, from Maryland, a school administrator, and she met her late husband at the age of 20, and he was 21. They later went on to get married. They were married for 32 years until he passed away in 2021 from pancreatic cancer. She has 4 children and 3 grandchildren. She left the Golden Bachelor because her daughter was suffering from postpartum depression, but she's back and she's looking for love, Ma.
Okay, good for her. I hope she finds it.
I hope so too. So we know on this first episode, we met all 24 bachelors, and there were some that were eliminated. We can go a little bit into some of them. Some of them made more of an impression than others. So bear with us for the ones that did not make much of an impression. And we're going to start off with Mr. Ken. And Ken, there's not a whole lot to say about Ken, unfortunately. He seemed like a nice guy, but he didn't make much an impression to me. What about you?
I don't recall anything about Ken. That's not to say he wasn't charming and pleasant, but I don't recall Ken having such a standout introduction.
All right. Ken, we know, is 60 on the dot, and he's from Massachusetts, and that's really all that I remember.
Okay, okay, good for you. That's more than I remember. Okay.
Let's move on to Mark. Now, Mark, everybody has seen Mark before. Mark is coming in at a young 57, relatively speaking, compared to everyone else here. And he is the father of the current fiance of the Bachelor, of Joey the Bachelor.
Okay.
He came back. The daughter brought him on the show because she wants her dad to find love. And he's an attractive man, and maybe there's a spark. Ma, what are your thoughts on Mark?
I thought there was a spark, but well, Joan, she seemed to be receptive to quite a few of the gentlemen. But Mark presented as very charming and sweet. So let's just see. Don't forget, guys, this is just our first live introduction. Okay, so we have a ways to go to know just what hidden gems these guys really have.
Right,
Okay.
right. And now Gil, now I don't really remember a whole lot about Gil. He seemed like a nice man. He seemed a little quiet to me. I really like for guys to kind of do something to stand out. And I don't remember Gil doing anything to stand out at all. I think Gil is at maybe like 60 on the dot, and that's pretty much all that I know about him. So
Okay. No, have nothing for Gil either. Although I have to say, Gil didn't stand out in such like an apparent flashy way. But I have to say that all of the men, I want to preface my comments by saying that all of these gentlemen presented as very charming.
mhm.
Okay. They all presented as being charming in some way.
That's true.
Correct?
Oh, I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
Now, Chalk, he stood out with his name, that Chalk, and Chalk is his mom is still alive, and he also is a very adventurous man, as we know that he went swimming, nighttime swimming. I think it was with the sharks in Australia. He likes to travel, And I think that that is very attractive, in particular to Joan.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. He is somewhat adventurous, so good for him. Okay.
Now, Thomas, I could not tell you a thing about Thomas except he had that look on his face where he always seems like he's bashful, or I don't know. The
Yeah, a couple of
Thomas,
guys seem a little more introverted than other guys. I don't know if I want to use that word introverted, but some of the guys were a bit more soft spoken than some of the other guys. So, well, let's just see. You never know. We're just getting to see the surface. We really
yeah,
don't know yet. Okay.
yeah,
All
I agree with you completely. We have to. It's the first episode, so we really don't know them well.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to add is that the men overall were exceptionally well dressed,
Oh,
and some of them looked extremely fabulous in their suits, and they were cut well and built well. They presented physically, they presented very well.
okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Now Kim was one of the older ones at the age of 69. He was what I remember about Kim was that he seemed, and you said this to me when we were watching it, that he seemed more serious type. I think he's a retired Navy captain.
Oh, he's the Navy guy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He seemed like he came for business. He came for real. And
Yeah.
I think it was something about the sense of authority with that uniform on
Mhm.
that made him appear that way.
All
So,
right.
okay, good.
Right.
Okay, all righty. And impressive. Because
Yeah.
some people like that. Some women that may give them a feeling of stability, security, safety. So there's a certain appeal to him.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And next we have Charles L. Now there are two Charleses. So this is Charles L. And he was a very sweet man. I know his wife passed away several years ago, and he has one or two daughters. One of the daughters actually appeared on a video. And he seemed like a nice guy. I think he's like a retired finance guy. But I will say I just really can't see a connection with him and Joan, because he just seems like the sweet kind of loving guy, but not necessarily the one that will, light your passion, or you get what I'm saying? Not in a
Yes.
sexy way.
Right. What I saw that Charles did was a little bit different.
Hmm.
He made Joan tea. He fixed her tea.
Oh,
And I thought that was cute. I
oh,
thought that was a sweet little touch. Apparently, it may be a special kind of tea, or maybe it was just special because he, made it for her. Maybe
right.
that was the special thing about it. But I do recall Charles making tea for Joan.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
And the other Charles K, now Charles K came out walking like he had a walker and he was going to be slow. And then all of a sudden he jumped on the ground and was doing a semi break dance or push ups or whatever he was doing.
Yes, yes. I
And
recall that Charles too, and
yeah,
he was outstanding in his way.
right,
Yes, I
right.
recall him.
And
Yes.
so that's attractive in a way,
He was a push-up person. Yes, I
Yeah,
recall him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That was funny.
thought that was real cute. That was a way to stand out. Now, Pablo, I remember Pablo, but I don't remember whatever Pablo was talking about. I remember his presence, but I don't remember much about Pablo,
You're
unfortunately.
right. Okay.
So that's not
We don't want to talk about who received the rose and who was eliminated, right?
we'll do that at the
We'll
end.
do that. Okay. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And so we have David. Now, David was another person too that just kind of stood back,
You're
and
right.
yeah, don't remember much about David. I hate to
He
say that.
didn't reveal very much of himself at all.
No,
No.
he is a one thing that I do remember is that he's from Texas. And I think he has
Okay.
a mom that is alive. I think his mom is like in her 90s. That
Okay. Is he the rancher?
he's the rancher, correct. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
righty.
And that lifestyle apparently is not for Joan, who's from Maryland.
Yeah.
Now, I know you remember Jack. Now,
Oh, baby. Jack, what did Jack do? Jack threw down on the food. Jack
Mhm.
prepared food for Joan, and which I thought was so sweet. I didn't understand what that blue looked like. He had icing on his fingers at one point. No, I don't know what Jack was doing. Seemed like he maybe had a drink in between and dipped his fingers in the icing or something while he was cooking. But he was slicing and dicing, and whatever he had, it looked very good. I don't know how it tastes, but it looked very good.
Yeah,
So I thought that was impressive. I thought Jack was funny and fun loving. So I thought it was good. I thought Jack made a good impression.
he did. Also, oh, he also came out singing. Now his singing, he could save that for later. Remember when he did
Was
My
Jack
Way?
singing My Way? Was
Yes,
that Jack?
yes,
Oh, that was so funny. But he made it through the song,
he
and
did.
he had a pleasant attitude, so that was
He
great.
did. He
Yeah,
did. He had a
yeah.
good attitude. Next, we have Jordan. Now, Jordan, I thought that Jordan was going to come out the box swinging. I thought he was going to, just be like, uh, very outgoing. I thought he was going to be funny. He was a little bit more reserved. I was surprised.
Yeah, I really don't have anything that I recall outstanding for Jordan at all.
Well, you know what Jordan did? Jordan talked about what I remember. He talked about how he was kind of tongue tied at the beginning when he was getting out the car. And then when he eventually, the limo,
He
when
did a redo.
he did a
Jordan's the one
redo,
who did the
he
redo.
did a redo, right? And he gave
And
the
he
little
had the gift for her
sweatshirt.
little grandbaby.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, which
Yeah.
was very good.
Right,
Yes,
right. And I
yes.
thought that was sweet. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Now,
I thought Jordan showed that he wanted it. He wanted to be in it. Yes.
yeah, because Jordan was one of my picks early on, but
Yes, me too. Me too.
yeah. And then we have, of course, Mr. Bill. And Bill, I don't know. I was worried about Bill because I thought when this is silly, when Bill got out the car and he went up to talk to Joan, I felt like he was too close to her. Like his face, he was just like invading her, private
And
space.
so some of them were like overly. I think they thought they were being sexy or something, I guess. I don't know.
Uh, Nothing from him. I didn't really get
I didn't get anything from Bill either. I didn't get anything. No, I didn't get anything. So not yet, guys. That's
no.
not shutting them down. This is just first impression. Don't
Right.
forget, sometimes first impressions are sustainable and lasting, and often they're not. Often they're very almost delusional. Almost not what it really is at all.
No,
Okay,
I
sometimes they're representative and not the real them.
yeah. Michael, saw Mike. I know Michael was upset. Um, he was just not upset, but he just seemed like he just seemed like he really liked Joan, but he also seemed like he was kind of sitting back in the cut, as they will say. Uh,
Right,
I
right.
didn't get a whole lot from him. I really just didn't. I don't know what your thoughts are on him.
Nothing, not impressive at all. Not impressive at all. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. No, no, nothing outstanding. Not yet. Not from Michael.
No. Greg, I liked Greg, but I don't really remember what was Greg's whole thing. Something about Greg though, I just kind of liked. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Greg?
No, I don't remember Greg either. Maybe just overall, generally charming and presented well as, kind of virile, guy or whatever, but don't recall anything specific about Greg.
Yeah, I think he was also a retired university vice president. That's what his thing was. So he's in education as well. There's a couple of
Oh,
them, so
okay.
uh
Yeah.
Gary, not to be confused with Jerry,
Right.
Gary, now you're not really
Well,
gonna
there's a
forget,
totally different spelling of the names, but
right.
okay.
You're not gonna forget them. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not gonna forget Gary. Gary, he didn't get was that Gary with the prune juice, or was that not Gary with the prune?
Yes, I think that was Gary with the prune juice. I know, yeah, I think that was Gary with the prune juice. I know that was him on the phone,
That was him
calling
on the
her. They
phone,
were back and
right?
back. That was him on the phone for sure.
Right. I'm not sure who had the prune juice. It might have been him, but he was okay. Gary is fine and he's fun, but I don't see the physical attraction there. But he was a fun type of guy.
Well, you know what? And then Gary sticks out because Gary has a more avant-garde look. Gary is a little, it looks to be a little bit chubbier than most of them over there. You know, a little bit more fluffy looking than most of them. And he has a more youthful hairstyle, I would say,
Well,
right?
he's full bodied. Let's use that
Right.
better.
Full, no, I'm not talking about his hair now. Well, he
I'm talking
got the
about
body.
his body. You
Okay,
said
well, yeah, he's more full body. Okay,
yeah.
whatever
Well, some
euphemism
people
you want.
like that. Some people like a
Yeah,
teddy
well, I'm saying,
bear.
but that's how he stands out.
Okay.
Because he's a little, I didn't say it like or this something. A lot of people like that teddy bear, chubby chaser, the kind of thing. Oh, please, plenty of people.
Okay.
But I'm talking about his hair. He had a more youthful hairstyle to
Yeah,
me.
he
You know,
did.
he didn't have the more, older conservative hairdo. He had like a more, yeah, modern,
He
youthful hairdo, I
he
thought.
looks about 10 or 15 years younger than he is actually.
Yeah, he really does. And he has a totally playful attitude. So I
Yeah.
can see a lot of things that are attractive about Gary. I don't know about him and Joan, you know, I don't know about their compatibility, but just in general, I can see how, someone would be attracted to him and his attitude, and his way,
Yeah.
I can see how someone would be attracted to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And moving on, RJ. Now, RJ, was RJ, did he do a poem? No, I don't know if RJ did a poem. Somebody.
I don't recall. I don't know what RJ did, but he's not
Oh,
standing out in my mind. RJ is not standing out at
no,
all.
well, I'll tell you one thing I remember him doing, and I don't know what his point was. He was mentioning about his blue eyes.
How his eyes and hers matched or were close in
Right,
color.
exactly. That's what I remember
Well, I don't know.
RJ.
You know what? It seemed to be so irrelevant.
Right, right.
Okay.
Now, Dan, I think he has all girls. I think I remember daughters. I think that was his thing. And I think that, or no, and I think he adopted a girl,
At
right?
least one. Yeah, he adopted at least one. Yeah.
Yeah. And he seemed like a good guy. First of all of the guys seem like good guys. Let me just say that.
They
Uh,
certainly do. They seem like a nice bunch of men. They
I
really
hope
do.
I hope that they are ready to put themselves first and to take a leap, into love, like, or, a leap with their feelings and emotions. That's kind of what I'm a little bit concerned about as we keep going through this, because all of them are family first, family first, family first, family first. Okay. I think mostly all of them, except for maybe the exception of, and we'll get to him, Jonathan. I think all of their children are grown. I don't think Jonathan's are grown, but we'll get to him. Um,
Okay.
Guy, now I know you remember Guy because he was the ER doctor.
Yes. And Guy was very impressive. And Guy was funny with his Guy had the perfume, correct?
He did.
Yes. Guy's the one who talked about scents and the sensuality of scents and how you can identify someone by the scent that they wear. So that was a little bit different as well. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah,
Okay.
I liked Guy. I liked him.
Yeah, I like Guy's attitude. I did too. Okay.
I liked Jonathan as well. Now, Jonathan, I thought was very attractive, and Jonathan also appears to be. He looked younger than he was because he looked like someone who you couldn't tell if he was in his 40s or 60s. You
You
know,
got that right. Yeah,
yeah.
Jonathan looked good, and Jonathan also was pretty cut.
He is pretty cut, and what I worry about is that he has. I think so. I think they're underage.
Well, yes, but based on what they showed us, the little video we saw, or the
Mhm.
short video we saw, the kids were young.
Right. So I don't
Yeah,
know if that
yeah,
works well for Joan.
right.
You know,
As it may just be fine because
right.
Joan has grandkids.
He has grandkids, but they're small. But
Yeah.
so
Well, kids in between. You
yeah,
know what I
that's true.
mean?
That's true.
Yeah, it's just a continuum, the age continuum, so she'll have him from a couple of months to adulthood, and all in between.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Uh,
It may work out well for her. Yeah.
oh, wait a minute, Ma. We didn't mention. I have the Chalk is the one who brought the chicken noodle soup. I'm
Chalk came
well,
there with the chicken noodle soup. Okay. Now,
right.
you know what? Now, that was really nice and everything, but I didn't particularly like that.
That's not anything that you necessarily want to
You
bring a
don't
person
greet
you
me, but
don't
no,
know.
don't. Now, you can make that for me once you get inside the mansion or
Right,
whatnot, or the villa or whatever, and if you can make that for me when you get inside to where we're going to actually be spending time together, that's
right,
fine. But that's not necessarily anything I want you to present me with when we're greeting each other. Uh,
right, right,
that's not, that's more sweet and less romantic.
right.
Okay, that's not exactly romantic.
I
That's
agree.
kind, that's loving and caring, and that's very tender and very appropriate in a different context, but not when you're saying hello to me and meeting me. Not, no,
I
no,
agree.
no.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we talked about Jonathan. Keith. Okay, so Keith was had quite an impression on.
Baby Keith was the man. Keith was all that.
Now we can say about Keith because we haven't gone about who's been eliminated yet, but my Keith was the guy that got the rose, and Keith came in on the station wagon, and
Keith got that first rose.
yep,
That's right. That's
and
right.
he we can tell he really is an adventurous man, and how
And that's
he
right.
has
Because
gone in
Keith said,
safari.
let's get the wine, cheese, and
Yep.
crackers and hit the beach, and a blanket and hit the beach. That's
Yes,
what Keith said. And that won her over completely because that's what she likes to do.
I'm,
Right?
I'm yes, I loved it. I loved it. I thought
I
it was
do.
romantic. Yeah. Even though I don't really like station wagons, I thought it was still romantic. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Christopher, um, maybe it was Christopher with the prune juice. I think maybe it was him with the prune juice, actually.
Yeah, somebody was with the fruit juice. I understand. Let's keep things regular, but look, I'm not. No, no. Go ahead. No,
Nah,
I know how to get my fiber. I don't need you
I
presenting
don't
me
need you
on.
coming in with
That's
that.
not romantic. You do that after we've been together for a minute, okay? We ain't gonna talk about my, digestive system and so forth. At this
Right.
point, no, not romantic, not cute
Mm,
at all. Very unsexy. Didn't like
right.
that. Nope.
Right. Nah, didn't like it at all. Pascal is, I think Pascal's a chef and he's French, right? Isn't it?
I think you're right about that. I think you're right. I think Pascal. Although I don't know that Pascal cooked anything.
I didn't see him cooking anything. No, he's not a chef. He doesn't he do hair?
It's something. Maybe he has a salon or
I
something.
think
I
he has a
forgot.
salon. I
Well,
think that's
whatever
what he
he.
has.
I didn't recall him cooking. I know that for sure.
No, he did not cook. Pascal to me was kind of funny. I
Yeah.
don't know, if it would necessarily. Yes, he's a salon owner. I don't know if it's necessarily anybody that I would click with, but he definitely to me had a lot of personality.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so I like that. Now, I don't remember. Maybe you can help me out with Bob because I really just don't remember much about Bob at all.
And let me see. Bob. I
I
don't remember Bob either. I guess Bob was a sweetie pie, but I certainly don't remember him.
No, he has a look that you won't forget.
Mm, well, I'm trying to think what was the activity associated with Bob. I can't remember. I don't
I
remember
can't either.
anything. No,
Oh,
just off the top of my head, I don't remember anything that stood out about Bob. I don't recall him cooking, singing, dancing,
no,
writing poetry.
no, not
Uh, don't recall him on horseback. Eh,
no.
I don't recall too much about Bob.
And that's okay. There's not, not
Okay,
much.
Bob, how many more episodes do we have? You'll
I
have a
don't know.
chance because you're there. So, we know you'll be there at least until the next elimination. So we'll see.
We'll see. Okay. Well, Now, Ma, I think it's important that we let everyone know who has been eliminated. Just wanted to mention a couple little things here. We said that we didn't really remember too much about David. I notated that David was actually the guy that came in on a horse, and I remember you just mentioned something about horseback. That reminded me. David, he's from Austin.
David is David is the rancher.
He's a rancher. Yeah. He
Okay.
that was one thing that he did. I don't remember. I'm trying to think, is there anything? Jonathan. Jonathan came blindfolded. Remember
Okay.
Jonathan?
Okay. All righty. I remember Jonathan. I didn't remember Jonathan is the one who said, "Yeah, let's take these off and see how
Yeah.
we look, and this is our first meeting, whatever." That was okay. That was a little different, but
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
not necessarily romantic. Okay, I'm going for
Yes.
went right for the romance.
Right, right.
Okay.
Okay. So let's let everyone know who was eliminated for the people who haven't had a chance to watch the episode yet. Uh,
Okay. Go,
Ken
daughter.
Ken was eliminated, Ma. Now,
Yeah.
Ken
Well,
did
you
not
know.
seem very exciting. So I, wish him luck.
You know what? You know what Joan said? She said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I just don't have enough roses."
That's true. She
I
didn't. That's
love
right.
that. I love that. How about I don't need all these roses because I don't need all these men to be here.
Right. Right. Now Thomas,
Oh God.
Thomas, like I said, Thomas really was not exciting and too quiet. I just didn't see
Right,
anything there.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. Thomas, I have nothing to say, but I got it. He's eliminated. So keep it moving, daughter. He
Now
was
Pablo,
eliminated.
now Pablo was eliminated too, and I'm going to say something, and I hope I don't get in trouble. Now
Say it.
Pablo's name, when you hear the word Pablo, you think of something sexy and exciting, or one or the other, maybe two, maybe both.
That's
Pablo
true.
Pablo's name did not fit his persona.
Yeah, I got it. Well, that's what she felt. And that's
So
why Pablo was eliminated.
that's right, Pablo. I know there's somebody out there for you. Joan is just not the one.
That's right.
Now,
Okay.
now David, I don't know what happened with David. I guess he kind of fell in the background after coming there on the horse. I guess that either turned her off, maybe she doesn't like horses, or maybe, he just after that gesture, or not that gesture, the interest of a horse, there was nothing else to back up his personality.
I think that's what it was. I think it was just David himself. And guess what? David's horse ran away.
Yeah, that is true. Okay.
I guess they found it at some point, but that horse left. Now, see, if he was a true rancher, he would have known he had to hitch that horse to something.
Right.
Right?
Right. Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
Now,
And
if he would have went and got the horse or found the horse and got Joan and took her and lifted her up and sat her on the horse and rode side saddle on the horse, whoa, that would have been super romantic. But
right.
like you said, he didn't follow through, daughter. Good point. Good point. It was just
Yeah.
that first impression, and then he didn't follow through because he could have beat them all if he would have
Oh,
done that.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for
Okay.
sure. And
Yeah.
finally, the last person eliminated was RJ. And RJ, like I said, the only thing I remember about RJ, and I have an issue with it, is that about his blue eyes. What did that have to do with anything?
Right. So that goes to show that he didn't give a whole lot of thought and
Right.
preparation to conversation that he could make just to keep it going.
Right.
He did not follow up with you know thought and preparation for meeting Joan.
Right.
Correct?
Correct. Correct. So so we have 5 eliminations. So we still have 19 men.
Oh
So
wow.
that's a lot. So
I
we're
thought she had eliminated more than that.
no, she eliminated. That was it.
Okay.
So we're gonna see what happens on Wednesday's episode, and we'll be back on Thursday to give you our insights. Is there anybody in here there who stood out to you before we go, or that you're rooting for?
Well, I don't know if I'm rooting for, but I have two standouts so far, and they
Okay.
are Keith
Mm-hmm.
and Jack.
And Jack? Oh, yeah, Jack
Keith,
stood out.
Keith, Jack, and maybe Mark, but I'm gonna say Keith, Jack, and Mark.
Now, I'm going with you with Keith for sure. I thought I'd like Jonathan for her. And I think that they're trying to throw Mark at her. Now, Jack,
I got you.
I don't think Jack is for her, but I think Jack is entertaining
I
and
do too.
you
Well,
know,
I'm
will start some
thinking,
drama.
yeah. So let's just see because she likes something exciting. So
Yeah,
let's just see,
that's
right?
true.
Let's
That's
just see.
true.
And Jonathan, I think is overall attractive.
Yeah,
So, I don't
yeah,
know about for her, but for somebody for sure,
yeah.
I
Mm,
think he's overall attractive.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Okay.
All
All right.
right. Well, I think, so, guys, continue to listen to our updates here on our YouTube channel, All Things Space You, home of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Also, make sure that you listen to our regular podcast, which is now coming out on Thursdays and Sundays. So check in and see what's going on for the latest in pop culture, film, TV. We really do appreciate you guys so much. We want to tell you all to take it easy and we will be back soon.
Okay. See you next time to continue on with the Golden Bachelorette. Okay, drama will start to increase as we move forward.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast streaming on most platforms.